Up here, okay. This is People of the State of Michigan versus Brandon Walters, docket numbers 18-463FH and 20-314FH. And this is the time set for sentencing. Mr. Walters, you're appearing remotely. Can you just confirm for me that you're okay with doing the sentencing remotely?
Yes, Ms. Draganchuk, I'm okay with it.
Thank you. So, Mr. Walters, you were convicted of failing to pay child support on the one file. That's a felony punishable by up to 4 years in prison. And then on the second file, absconding on bond, also a felony, also punishable by up to 4 years in prison. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. You are represented by Mr. Marks. And Mr. Marks, have you had a chance to go through the pre-sentence report with your client?
May it please the court, Your Honor. Yes, we went through it earlier this morning. No need for any corrections, deletions, or additions, Your Honor.
Any objection to the scoring of the guidelines?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Awuda-Coker, did the people have any corrections to the report or objections to scoring?
Judge, I would just like to update the court on the current child support arrearage for file number 18463FH. As of today, Mr. Walters owes $19,689.84. I believe there's a arrearage in paragraph 24 of the Department of Recommendations section for the 18 case.
Yes, I want to make sure you cut out a little bit. You said $19,689.04?
84 cents.
Thank you. That's exactly where you cut out.
All right.
Okay, and so that's your only correction? Did the people wish to be heard?
Yeah, I have no further additions, deletions, or corrections. I believe the guidelines are scored accurately. And I would just request that the court place Mr. Walters, I believe the recommendations for 18 months probation, I will ask for 48 months given Mr. Walters' current arrearage and his inconsistent payment history in the child support matter.
All right, thank you. Mr. Marks, I'll hear from you then.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Walters and I have had many opportunities as far as to discuss this matter. I know his intent is to get this out of the way as quickly as possible. What I would ask of the court, I understand that the recommendation is that of 18 months. Mr. Walters, I believe, is going to get that out of the way as quickly as possible, even with the understanding, pardon me. Sorry about that. That it is 19,000 now. I would ask the court to leave it at the 18 months. And even if my client is able, as far as to pay the arrearages off, I would ask the court if the court would consider early discharge as far as from probation, if he's able to pay the 19,000 off before the 18 months.
Okay, thank you. And now you, Mr. Walters, is there anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I would just appreciate if the court left the order as it were, and for 18 months, and if I pay the arrears before then, I can drop the probation altogether.
Okay. Well, Mr. Walters, the thing that struck me about you, it always has actually, is that you not only are very employable, but you have been employed, and it seems like in not half bad jobs, and that's a very good sign. I still think, though, I'd rather do it the other way around. I am going to do it the other way around. Start with a longer term of probation, as Mr. Awuda-Coker suggests, because of the large amount that's owed. And if you pay it off sooner, then we'll do an early discharge, and more power to you. I'll be happy to see you do that. But I'm going to start with the default position of the longer term rather than the shorter and extending it. So in docket number 18-463FH. I'm going to place you on probation for a period of 48 months, 255 days in jail with credit for 255 days served. You have to pay $130 to the Crime Victims Fund, $68 in state costs. I'm waiving oversight fees. I'm waiving costs. Additional conditions of probation are you may not use or possess alcoholic beverages or be in bars or other places where alcohol is sold for consumption on site. You must comply with alcohol testing as your agent directs. You may not use or possess any controlled substances, drug paraphernalia, or medical marijuana. You must comply with drug testing as your agent directs. You must not engage in any assaultive, abusive, threatening, or intimidating behavior. No contact with anyone you know to have a felony record. You can't possess a weapon while you're on probation. You must contact your agent within 24 hours of being placed on probation. You must comply with the written and verbal orders of your agent. Let the agent into your home at any time. Submit to a search of your person or property without need of a warrant. Report any changes to your agent within 24 hours. Make genuine efforts to find and maintain employment, a minimum of 30 hours per week. You must pay child support in the amount of $19,689.84. You must complete a cognitive behavioral program as referred to you by your agent. Now, on docket number 20-314FH, I'm imposing a concurrent but shorter term of probation of 18 months, 211 days in jail with credit for 211 days served. You have to pay $130 to the Crime Victims Fund, $68 in state costs. I'm waiving oversight fees, restitution in the amount of $1,661.75 to the state of Michigan. I'm waiving costs. All the conditions of probation are the same. Wait a minute, did they make a mistake?
Judge,
Yeah.
there are two separate extradition costs.
Yeah, that's what I'm just looking at.
Yeah, one is he was extradited for the child support case, and then he was also extradited for the absconding case. If that
Oh,
makes sense.
I see, and they would have been two separate ones. Okay, I
Yeah.
got it now. That just momentarily confused me. So the one I ordered on the absconding case was the 1,600 amount, is that right or wrong?
That's correct, but that should be for the child support file. The absconding one is just $2,382.
Okay, got it. So back to docket number 18-463, and that is restitution in the amount of $1,661.75 to the state of Michigan. And then back on docket 20-314, restitution in the amount of $2,382.80 to the state of Michigan. And the costs are waived in the 20 docket 20-314. And then the conditions of probation, I'm not going to read through again because they are identical now that we've changed the restitution amounts, it looks like. So the same conditions of probation, albeit a shorter term. And Mr. Walters, you have the right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction and your sentence in this matter. You're entitled to an attorney at public expense to assist you in doing that. If you're making a request for one, you have to make it within 42 days of today's date. It will explain that further on the form that we will mail to you. And you should just be aware that that 42-day time frame starts running from today. Okay, unless you have any questions, then we're all done with your sentencing hearing.
No, thank you, Ms. Draganchuk.
Good luck.
Thank you.